Hello everyone, we are here to present our topic line balancing heuristics as part of our AIFA course. So first of all, let us know what is meant by line balancing. So line balancing, this is a production strategy that involves balancing operator and machine time to match the production rate to the takt time. In other words, the quantities of workers and machines assigned to each task in the line should be rebalanced to meet the optimal production rate. So this is an analysis process which tries to equally divide the work to be carried out in a production process among workstations. So while looking at our product layout, there are many aspects to focus on: production lines, product design, market demand, number of workers, technology or machines. So this total information is provided uh, uh, by only line balancing. So this is leveling the workload across all processes in a cell or value stream to remove bottlenecks and excess capacity. A constraint slows down the process and results if waiting for downstream operations, and excess capacity results in waiting and absorption of fixed costs. So the goal and objective of this product line balancing was assigning tasks to each workstation in such a way that there is only a little idle time. So let us know about the important terms in this production line. The important first term was tasks. The task represents all the elements of work. Next is the task precedence. Task precedence is nothing but the sequence in which tasks are performed. The next word is task time. So task time is nothing but the time required by a well-trained worker or unattended machine to perform a task. This is usually expressed in minutes. The next is cycle time. Cycle time is the time expressed in minutes between two simultaneous products coming off the end of a production line. And the next is productive time per hour. The average number of minutes a workstation is working in an hour. And the other next one is the workstation. So the workstation is nothing but the physical area where a worker with tools or one or more machines or unattended machines like a robot performs a particular set of tasks in a production line. The other one is the work center. Work center is nothing but a small group of identical workstations where each workstation performs the same set of tasks. And the next one is the number of workstations working. It's nothing but the amount of work done at a work center expressed in number of workstations. So these are the two heuristic methods which we are going to use in line balancing. So one is incremental utilization heuristic and the other one is the longest task time heuristic. Incremental heuristic is nothing but in this heuristic the tasks are added to each workstation in order of task precedence one at a time until utilization is 100% or is observed to fall. It's generally used when one or more task time is equal to or greater than the cycle time. The next one is the longest task time heuristic. So this is nothing but here we will add tasks to a workstation one at a time in the order of task precedence. If a choice must be made between two or more tasks, the one with the longest task time is added. This has the effect of assigning as quickly as possible the tasks that are the most difficult to fit into a station. Tasks with shorter times are then saved for fine-tuning the solution. So these are the process which we are going to perform in the line balancing process. So one is we'll determine the tasks which we need to be performed. Then we'll determine the order and we'll formulate a precedence diagram. Then we'll estimate the time required for the process, and afterwards we'll calculate the cycle time and we'll calculate the minimum workstations required for the process. So for all these processes we'll use the heuristics to assign the tasks. So from here on my friend is going to continue from the incremental heuristic part.
Hi, till now my friend has explained about the introduction of line balance and the procedures we are going to use in the line balancing. Now I'm going to take an example and explain about the incremental heuristic search and how we and the applications of incremental heuristic search in the line balancing. I'm going to take an real life application. There is a company, electronic manufacturer company called Textech, which manufactures handheld calculators of model 8075. Here I'm going to explain incremental heuristic search on production of calculator, how efficiently they manufactures calculator using incremental heuristic. The parts used in this assembly line are supplied by materials handling personnel to part bench used in each task. So the assemblies used for the calculator are moved by the belt conveyors between workstations. All the technical terms of workstations are explained by my friend. So their main goal is to manufacture as many calculators as possible in optimal time. So I'm going to explain how they are going to calculate, how they are going to reduce the time taken for the production using incremental heuristic. So first we are going to what are the so we need a cycle time per calculator taken and the minimum number of workstations and when we combine the task and minimize the time, how workstations will be minimized and how when we minimize the workstation, how can we reduce the ideal, how can we bring down the production time to the ideal time. So I'm going to explain how we use incremental heuristic. So here we can see a table where we have a list of tasks in the production process of the calculator. So there are tasks like place circuit frame on JIG, etc. So these are these are the many tasks included in the production of the calculator. So in the third column we can see the order of tasks and the order in which the tasks are held and the time taken by the corresponding task. Like for task A it takes 0.18 minutes. So similarly to all the tasks. So in this table we can see the total time taken by all the tasks for the calculator production is 5 minutes and 36 seconds. So this is the normal production time. So when we compute the cycle times per calculator for this production of the time we calculated is 5 minutes and 36 seconds, we get cycle time has 0.1 minute per hour. And the minimum number of workstations is calculated has some of the tasks into demand per productive time per hour. So we get 54 workstations. This is the normal production where we are not optimizing the workstations and the cycle time. So this is a precedence diagram where it tells us about the order in which the tasks are being the tasks are being held, and here the arrow indicates the order in which the task has to be performed. And here in this preceding diagrams, this is the optimized preceding diagram where all the tasks takes place in different workstations. So here we are going to see how we arrange these tasks from A to O in a particular allotment, so that the workstations will be minimized and the cycle time will be minimized and the overall production time will be minimized. So here this is the so here we can see in this table number of workstations and the tasks assigned to the corresponding workstation and the time taken for each task to be happen for per calculator. So here we are going to calculate each and every time in minutes, and per calculator we are going to calculate, and we'll be summed up to all the calculators in per hour later. So when we see in this table, we can see that for task A the actual number of workstation needed and for task A is 2, and the utilization is 90%. This is the normal production where we are not using any optimal solution. So correspondingly we get utilization time for different tasks and the number of workstations required for the particular task to happen. So this is the very important topic where we allot task allotment. In this task allotment, we will be going to learn that task allotment plays a major role in optimizing the time. We have taken example like when we perform the task A alone in work center 1, then we get an utilization of 90%. Then what we have done is we combined task A and task B together, and we have done it in workstation 1, which ultimately minimize the number of workstations. Instead of performing task A alone in workstation 1, we combined task A and task B together, then we got an utilization of 100%. So here ultimately we can see that when we perform task A and task B together in workstation 1, utilization is increased. So this is a basic method of optimizing the time. So we can then we also performed we also took an example of taking task C, D and E together and calculating the utilization. Then we can see a drastic change in the utilization percentage, which has been increased from 80 to 96 percentage and then to 98.5 percentage. Again, there is a small problem. When we include task F with these three tasks, then the utilization has been decreased from 98.5 to 96.3. So this includes that there is a limit for there is a number limit for including the tasks for a particular work center. So we have to, so basically we are optimizing by increasing the number of number of tasks per work center. Then so after assigning optimal number of tasks to the workstation, then we can see a drastic change of decreasing the workstations from 55 to 22. So 55 to 22. Then we calculated the efficiency of the efficiency. Then we got a utilization of 97.5, which has been increased a lot. So we can see how incremental heuristic has brought a drastic change in the prediction of the calculators. And thank you.
As my friends have explained about the introduction and as well as about the incremental heuristic, now let us cover about the longest task time heuristic. In this heuristic, we add tasks to a workstation one at a time in the order of task precedence. We have already looked at the steps, like if a choice must be made in between two or more tasks, the one with the longest task time is added. This has the effect of assigning as quickly as possible the tasks that are most difficult to fit into a station. Tasks with shorter times are then saved for fine-tuning the solution. Now let us look at the conditions required for longest time task time heuristic. It can be used only when each and every task time is less than or equal to the cycle time. And the second condition is there can be no duplicate workstations. Now since it is a little different from incremental heuristic, let us look at the steps that are involved in the longest task time. First, let us take a variable I, which represents the number of workstations being formed. Then we make a list of all the tasks that are to be assigned to a workstation. We have to satisfy the following conditions. It cannot be previously assigned to this or any previous workstation. Its immediately predecessors must have been assigned to this or a previous workstation. The sum of its task time and all other times of tasks are already assigned to a workstation must be less than or equal to the cycle time. Then we assign from the list with the longest task time to the workstation. After completing all the steps, we close the assignment of tasks to workstation. This can occur in two ways: if there are no tasks on the list for the workstation, or if there are no more tasks, that is, the procedure is completed. Now let us take an example regarding the longest task time heuristic. Here we can see some tasks from A to H, and the corresponding times are also given. Now if we add them all, we get a total of 4.6 minutes. Now using the above information, we can draw a precedence diagram, and we have to compute the cycle time that is needed to obtain 50 units per hour, assuming the condition that 55 minutes per hour are productive. Now, then we determine the minimum number of workstations, and then later we assign the task to workstation using the longest task time heuristic, and finally we calculate the utilization of the solution. Now here we can see the precedence diagram. It is obtained from the table. Here we can see the flow from task A to task H, and we can see that there is also in here we will consider D and E as a workstation without any algorithm. Now, assuming that 55 minutes per hour are productive, let us compute the cycle time to obtain 50 units per hour. We can obtain this using the formula productive time per hour by demand per hour, which is we can calculate that to be 1.1 minute per product. Then we determine the minimum number of workstations. It can be obtained by sum of all task times into demand per hour by productive time per hour. The sum of all task times was obtained from the table, and the demand per hour was 50, and we assume that the productive time per hour was 55. Now calculating, we get it as 4.2 workstations. Now let us assign the task to workstation using our longest task time heuristic. Here first we'll consider A to be the first workstation, and the task time was 0.9, and the sum of task time in the workstation 1, which is only of A, is 0.9, and the unassigned task time is 1.1 minus 0.9, which is 0.2. And similarly, if we keep on considering B, C and everything, we can assign them to the corresponding workstation, and we will get a total of 5 workstations. Here task E is chosen ahead of task G because its task time is longer. Then we can summarize the assignment of tasks to the respective workstations below. Here 1 is assigned to A, 2 is assigned to B, C, 3 is assigned to EDF, 4 is to G, and 5 to H. Now we can calculate the utilization percentage by minimum number of workstations by actual number of workstations into 100. Here actual number of workstations is greater than 4.2, so we will take it as 5. So 4.2 by 5 into 100, which is 84%. So now I conclude about the longest task time heuristic, and my friend will likely conclude.
And now, as my friends has explained you about the incremental heuristic and longest task time heuristic, we can see that the utilization percentage of incremental heuristic is 97.5%, and that the utilization percentage of longest task time heuristic is 84%, which in both the cases is very high. So we can observe, but by using the heuristic, we can increase the utilization percentage to a very high amount, and we can also observe that the incremental heuristic utilization percentage is greater than that of the longest task time heuristic. But even by using these heuristics, there are some limitations and issues that we are going to face, and one of them is that the production lines were designed so that conveyor belts placed the speed of the employees' work. This arrangement wasn't appreciated by the employees, as because the earlier the conveyor belts are placed with the speed of the employees' work, and now they are placed with the machine speed. And one more thing is that it is inevitable changes lead to production lines being out of balance, and also the rebalancing causes disruptions to the production. And I wanted to conclude it by saying, as taking a classic examples, that is Henry Ford's auto chassis line. Before the assembly line, balancing was introduced in the year 1913. Each chassis was assembled by one worker, and it actually required an average of 12.5 hours. And once this technology was installed, this time was reduced to pretty much of 93 minutes. So we can pretty much clearly see that how much time it has reduced to design a new model. And next, I want to conclude it by saying this. This presentation was done as a part of our course AIFA. It is presented to you by myself Vikram and my friends Karthik, Vamshi and Mahesh. And if you have any doubts or questions regarding the presentation, you can drop in the comment box and we'll be answering them. And thank you.